Hi everyone and welcome back to Saturn Secrets. These are the horoscopes for March 2021. March is a beautiful month and it is a complete change. We are changing the seasons anytime the sun is in one of the mutable signs, be it Pisces, Virgo, Gemini or Sagittarius. It means changing of the seasons, changing of the times. Pisces season is one of the most spiritual, loving energies. It's where we go for unconditional love, where we go for healing, where we go for spiritual understanding and transcendence. So there is an energy of transcendence in the sky this month. We have the sun in Pisces. There's a new moon on the 13th of March in Pisces. Venus is in Pisces for most of the month and Neptune is in Pisces. The beginning of the month is the Piscean energy of creativity, of love and of transcendence. Towards the end of the month, around the 20th, 21st, the energy starts shifting into Aries. The Sun and Venus move into Aries and we have a conjunction between the Sun and Chiron around the full moon in Libra, which is a time where we have to find balance in our partnerships and our relationships and find some healing in our identity and core wounds of who we are and who we want to be. So this is a really beautiful month in many ways. Pisces season and Aries season always is that changing in the weather, the changing of the seasons, and Aries season marks the astrological new year. We have an interesting conjunction between Mars, which will move into Gemini on the 3rd. Mars will conjunct the true node, which is going to give us a lot of energy to move towards our destiny this month, to move towards our goals, to move towards the future that we want for ourselves and the world. And it's going to put a lot of emphasis on the information that we receive around this time. There is also the Mercury-Jupiter conjunction on the 4th of March, which is likely going to bring some good news. We've had Mercury conjunct Jupiter before. Mercury was retrograde in Aquarius, and so this conjunction is going to be the lead out of Mercury moving out of shadow when it moves into Pisces, and we're going to finally have some clear indication and optimism about the future. This is a very optimistic month. We also finally have a trine between Mars and Saturn after having a Mars-Saturn square, which put a lot of tension and a lot of aggression into the air. The energy is a lot more compatible this month. We will still have a bit of square tension between the Piscean energy, our spiritual journey, our transcendence, and Gemini, which is in our information, our facts, the media, etc. So there is going to be a little bit of push and pull as how the change plays out. But for the most part, this month is blessed with a lot of loving energy and a lot of support. The Mars trine Saturn energy is one that is positive for the collective. It's positive for humanity. It's positive for the world. It's positive for our groups, for our friendships, for our dynamics in general. Mars is going to be giving us that push and that quest for truth, I think, more than anything else. Where there's no answers, there could be, with Mars conjunct the true node, a little bit of aggression, and people will want the truth, they will want direction, and they will want facts. And so this month is a real mix, but it's mostly a beautiful month between spirituality and healing, and then a fresh new start for everybody. So if you want to know what it means for your sign, the timestamps are listed below. I will be doing tarot scopes for all the signs coming up, so stay tuned for that if you want to watch those as well. And if you enjoyed this video and want to stick around, please click subscribe and turn on the notifications for more updates on the stars and tarot. I would also like to point out, in the spirit of Mars in Gemini, where we are seeking truth, answers, information and something new to learn, I have launched a tarot school. It is on my Vimeo. The link is listed below. You can purchase episodes individually or as a bulk for a reduced price. But this goes into teaching you the basics of tarot, how to manifest what you want using tarot, how to heal using tarot, and really enhance that knowledge that you have or learn from the start. All things tarot, and a little bit of astrology thrown in there too. So if you're interested in that, click the link below. Thank you for your support. Hi Pisces and Pisces rising, welcome to your March 2021 horoscope. Pisces, this is an absolutely beautiful month for you. We have so much activity in your first house with your ruler Neptune. So we have a Sun-Venus conjunction in your first house, which is making you radiate beauty, charm, charisma. You're going to be looking your best. You're going to be feeling amazing. We also have a conjunction between the Sun and your ruler Neptune and Venus and your ruler Neptune. We also have a new moon while this is going on in your first house that is in alignment with your ruler. So this is an absolutely phenomenal month, Pisces. It really, really is, especially the first 20 days of the month. You're going to be radiating beauty, charm, grace, charisma. You're going to be an absolute magnet to the things that you want to attract. So if you're single, this is a beautiful time to find love, to mingle, to connect. If you're in a relationship, you're going to be feeling really beautiful and really loving, and it's going to be reflected back to you. So some other things we have going on this month, Pisces, is that we still have Saturn and Jupiter in your 12th house. You rule the 12th house. It's the unconscious, it's fate, it's the unseen, it's what's hidden. It's a lot to do with moments of isolation, moments of healing, but it's also to do with where we find miracles and true bliss. And because you are the ruler of this house, you navigate it with a bit more ease than most signs. Now, Saturn is there, and Saturn typically restricts the house that it's in, so it's restricting a lot of your fear, but not all of it. We have a trine aspect, which is harmony, between Mars, which moves into Gemini in the 3rd. It will trine Saturn later in the month, trining your 12th house of the unseen and your inner self. And so because Mars is in your family sector of home and where you feel safe and your family members, and it is connecting with your 12th house, there could be some kind of healing based on where you live. There could be some healing within the family, and there could be some healing to the past. Perhaps within you, you might be realizing something bothered you and you're finally voicing it with someone that you trust and getting it up and out, because we need to feel in order to heal. And so this month there is this beautiful glow with you that when you need to express yourself, particularly towards the end of the month with Mercury in your sign connecting with Neptune, you're going to be able to convey yourself and communicate with real beauty, real poise. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything is as it seems with what you're saying, because Neptune is in the mix, and Neptune can cast a bit of a shadow, a bit of illusion when it connects with Mercury. So not necessarily everything that you say may have complete backing. But as a very dream-oriented sign, you know that a lot of the things you say, words or spells, you can make them into reality. So it's likely around Mercury and Neptune's conjunction, as they're side by side, that you may find that you can speak some things into existence with ease. So there's some activity towards the end of the month going into your 2nd house of finances and income. We're going to have the Sun move into Aries, we're going to have Venus move into Aries, and there's going to be a Sun-Venus conjunction there, which is going to enhance your income. It's going to be a wonderful time to ask for a raise. You might have some new source of income coming in. That could be a new job, that could be a new way of manifesting money. But this is beautifully aspected, and if you're having some kind of issue with money, if you're having trouble with it in this lifetime, there is a possibility that you could heal some wounds that go on with money that are particularly linked to childhood or a feeling that you don't deserve it. You know, it could be a lack of self-worth. The Sun conjunct Chiron at the very end of the month is going to give you a light to shine on some wounds you may feel surrounding worth, money and value, how you feel about yourself or how you feel about money. But this is a wonderful time to manifest money, whatever that practice is for you. We also have a full moon in Libra on the 28th, which is your joint resources. And this aspect in particular is in an opposition, which is a bit of tension, but also a bit of balance with Chiron in your money sector. So shared resources and income. You may find that you are releasing some source of income. You may be moving on from a particular job or a joint contract, something that your finances are linked to somebody else. And you may be finding that you are making more money on your own. But really this full moon is shining a light on what you're sharing in this life and how you feel about it, or if you feel deserving of it more than anything else. So with so much energy happening in your first house at the start of the month, Pisces, I suggest that you do whatever it takes to up your confidence. You roll with the confident energy. And as you're attracting these things, then towards the end of the month, you may start to question whether you deserve them, whether you have the value for them. You do. So if you find yourself attracting wonderful things this month, and then at the end your confidence takes a bit of a dip and you have to say, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like I don't deserve these opportunities? You 100% do. You were born as one of the dreamiest signs of the zodiac, a real creator. And there is a place for that in this lifetime, even if it feels sometimes that it's very hard to work with. You can create in any capacity. Even if you're not in a necessarily textbook creative profession, you know, Pisces energy can come through in all sorts of ways. You know, you're the house that rules institutions, for example. So whether you work in a hospital, in a prison, in the police, whether you work in criminal justice, or whatever profession you have that's not necessarily creative, you can bring an air of creativity to it and manifest your own reality with that. And as woo-woo as that sounds to many people, you are the sign that understands it best. And with so much activity, including your traditional ruler Jupiter in your 12th house, you can manifest miracles, especially this month. And with everything in your first house, with Venus being there, you're a magnet for miracles. So lean into the good feelings, roll with it. You'll find yourself in a much easier state of flow this month. You'll have a lot more energy than you did in February. You won't need to sleep as much. And you'll be feeling a lot more refreshed, a lot more energetic, and you'll really be going for gold. So if you want to know what the tarot has to say for you, I have that separately. And I hope you have a really beautiful month, Pisces, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Aries and Aries rising, welcome to your horoscope for March 2021. Happy birthday for all the Aries that are born in March. So Aries, there is a very dual tone aspect to this month. The first half of the month we have the Sun, Venus, Mercury moves into, and we have Neptune all in your 12th house of the unseen, of the unconscious, of what's hidden. Now this is actually also the house of miracles and true bliss. So a lot of people have this misconception with the 12th house that it means it's primarily to do with solitude, to do with isolation. It's a lot to do with reflection in your inner world. And you have had Neptune there for quite a long time. And it has been perhaps casting a little bit of illusions on how you feel about your inner self, how you feel about healing, how you feel about the world inside of you. So to have the Sun and Venus there casting this beautiful light and giving this unconditional love to this sector of you means that it's a beautiful month for healing. We're going to have the Sun conjunct Neptune, we're going to have Venus conjunct Neptune, and we have a beautiful new moon in Pisces on the 13th. This new moon for you is a beautiful time to connect to some form of healing practice or try out something that gives you a sense of peace, whether it be meditation, whether it be Reiki healing, whether it be seeing a therapist, whether it be reading a wonderful self-care book or self-help book, anything in that genre. It's a beautiful time to get lost in that type of healing. It is also a time when you're more susceptible to outside influences and you're easier to read. So do be careful about spending copious amounts of time with people because you may need more time to recharge and you may feel a bit drained. This changes later in the month whenever the Sun and Venus move into your sign and there is a conjunction, meaning that you're just on fire, you look beautiful, you're feeling amazing, you're feeling excited, optimistic, and almost reborn because there's a restart for you. You are the astrological new year, but this is a new start for you in general. Mars, your ruler, is going to be camped out in your 3rd house, which is a time that your words have a lot of power, have a lot of sway and a lot of influence, and you're going to want to put your thoughts across. You're going to want to put your point across. And there is going to be a harmonious trine between Mars and Saturn. Saturn is in your sector of groups, aspirations, and friendships. So there could be some confrontation in a friendship group. There could be some sway that you have over a group dynamic. This can point to leadership. But what I will say is that there's a breakthrough with that because of the trine aspect. There's something that you learn and something that you overcome in your communication. So you may feel like you need to as well express what you want more. Ask for what you want because with the Sun and Venus in your 1st house, you're very likely to get what it is that you do want. There is, however, a very healing full moon for you on the 28th. The full moon is in Libra, your opposite sign, your sector of partnership. And so because of this, it could be that in any unhealthy dynamics that have been going for a while that just aren't working. This could be a time when you do a reset, when you make a change, or it could be that in any current relationship you move to the next level through some kind of healing of the self. You may find that because Chiron is in your sign, you have to express something that is on your mind, something that has been hurting you, or your identity within a relationship. It's a wonderful time for any Aries in a partnership to express how they feel in a relationship, who they think they're becoming, and if it's unhealthy, it's a time to say goodbye, or if it's a good relationship, it's a time to acknowledge that you're growing and developing and feel proud of yourself. So there is that aspect with this full moon that it will show you where you need to grow in relationships or how you have grown in relationships. And it really focuses on who you are within a dynamic. You know, there's a reason the 1st and 7th house are opposites, because who we are and who we are in a partnership is important. It's our identity within a relationship. And if you feel yourself getting lost in one, this is a full moon to really think about that. Although what I will say is this: Mercury will be conjunct Neptune in your 12th house of the unseen. So you may feel as though people are not being upfront in the way you would like to, or you may feel like there is a fog over how you express yourself. Tap into your intuition and see how you feel. And intuition is not based on a sense of fear, it's based on a sense of peace. So if you feel yourself in an anxious state, it's not necessarily your intuition, it's more to do with your anxious egoic mind. If you find yourself in a state of peace, this is a beautiful time to communicate. So there is a lot going on for you this month, and you'll find towards the end of the month there is this rebirth with you where you feel more magnetic, more attractive, more charming. And there's also a lot of room this month for some inner work, some healing, finding some peace, and really finding some clarity in your life. This is a wonderful month for you, Aries. It's a wonderful beginning to your season. If you would like to know what the tarot has in store for you, I will list that separately. And I hope you have a wonderful month and beautiful birthdays. Bye, Aries. Hi Taurus and Taurus rising, welcome to your horoscope for March 2021. So Taurus, this begins with Pisces season and a lot of energy in your 11th house. This is to do with your groups, your friendships, your aspirations, your wishes. And so we have a beautiful lineup here for socializing, for connecting with your friends, spending more time with friends, having more interesting conversations. It's a beautiful time if you work as part of a group. Group dynamics are favored at this time, and your role within group dynamics is favored within this time. So we have the Sun there, we have Neptune there, we have Venus there, and we have Mercury moving there in the middle of the month. So if communication has been troubling with groups, there is going to be an enhancement here where you can have more clear conversations. Because of the new moon in Pisces in the 13th, if you're a Taurus looking to attract new friends, this is a beautiful time to attract friends who are very understanding, very empathic, very kind, people who are very emotionally mature. This is a beautiful new moon to manifest any type of friendship or work with any type of friendship that needs some healing or harmony. If you're looking to manifest new friends, this is the new moon to set those intentions. With Venus being in Pisces, it's very likely that you are in a point of attraction for friendships. And since Saturn moved into Aquarius, a lot more people have been focusing on manifesting friendships in their life and meeting their soul tribe, their soul family. Because we've had Mercury in Aquarius, this has been a time when a lot of people have been talking about wanting friendships. So if you're on the market to attract some new friends, just know that it is possible. There's always room to make more friends, make more friendships happen. If you have a particular wish within the 11th house, an aspiration that you want for yourself, this is also a beautiful new moon to attract that. Venus as well is going to make you more magnetic to your wishes, more magnetic to your aspirations. And overall, the Piscean energy is going to make you feel very attractive. It's going to make you feel very optimistic, very outgoing, very sociable. We do have a shift in pace towards the end of the month when the Sun and Venus, your ruler, move into Aries. There's going to be a conjunction there in your 12th house of the unseen, of the unconscious. A lot of people have understandably got fears in the 12th house because it can get a pretty bad rap. But what the 12th house also encompasses is true bliss, fate, destiny, and unconditional love. And so to have the Sun and your ruler side by side in this house, there is an unconditional love, there is a shining of energy that is going to make you feel very spiritual, very at peace, and a bit more in flow with life. You might be a bit more reflective. You might want a bit more time on your own, and this is okay. But it is a time of wonderful healing, especially because the sun is going to conjunct Chiron here. And Chiron is the wounded healer. So the sun, if you think about it, shines a light on the house that it's in, and it also shines a light on what it is next to. So Chiron is getting this warmth from the sun in your sector of healing as the wounded healer. So this is a fantastic time for you to commit to any healing practices, to try Reiki. It's a time when you can get really amazing readings done, really amazing astrology done. It's a time when you can just feel really very connected to source, to the mystical, to yourself. And it's a time when your dreams could be quite poignant too. Mars for this month is going to be in Gemini, your second house of income and resources. And it is going to be connecting with Saturn in Aquarius, which is to do with your reputation, your career success. And so there's going to be a trine there. Trine is positive, but you know Mars and you know Saturn, they can be kind of so there can be a little bit of a breakthrough that requires a bit of tension. So you may be experiencing some money concerns, or you're just very focused on money. And with the aspect to Saturn, it's saying that you can maybe take this amazing position. You can maybe have this career advancement, but you're not as happy with the money, but it's money that you can work towards. Or it may make you realize that you want to try a different profession. It may make you realize that you want to try a different career. But anything that feels tense around this time towards the end of the month with that Mars-Saturn trine, the tension is going to lead to something wonderful, and a wonderful lesson in particular for you. The full moon in Libra, which is also ruled by Venus on the 28th, is going to be shining a light on your workspace in general, your 6th house, and that is connecting again with your 2nd house, your 12th house, of your subconscious. And so when we have a connection between the 6th house and the 12th house, this opposition, we think about how in service we are to others, what we give to others and what we get back, you know, what we give to our life spiritually and in terms of a routine. So this is shining a light likely for you in terms of your health, your fitness as well, or your day-to-day work and routine. And the chances are, Taurus, there may be some kind of addiction, substance, comfort eating, alcohol, anything that you will likely want to give up at this time for your greater fitness. If you're someone, for example, who wants to lose weight, a full moon in your 6th house is a wonderful time to start that, because full moons are about getting rid of. A new moon, if you want to start a fitness journey, a new moon is great for building muscle or exercising more. A full moon is about losing what we already have, giving something up. So if you're looking to lose weight, that's a full moon for that. But I do feel with the aspects to the 12th house, Taurus, that a lot of you are going to want to give up a toxic habit or an unhealthy habit that's keeping you back, so that you can feel more free and more comfortable in your routine. So that is what I have for you, Taurus. I will see you next month. Bye. Hi Gemini and Gemini rising, and welcome to your March 2021 horoscope. So Gemini, firstly, the big news, Mars moves into your 1st house of self-appearance, and this is the time when you really are a go-getter. You are so ready to go after your goals. You're so ready to go after anything that you want for yourself, that your confidence needs, that your personality needs. It is all about the self, who you are. And Mars is where we put our energy. Mars is where we put our drive. So you're putting a lot of energy into yourself, into who you are. And your confidence as a result is increasing. Now Mars is going to be in unusual aspects to the Piscean energy being in your 10th house, which is your reputation and your career success. And so because we have so much in your 10th house and Mars in your 1st house, who you are versus how you're seen publicly or what your long-term goals are coming into a little bit of a clash, a little bit of a tension because of that square. Now your career sector being lit up with the sun, Mercury moves there in the 15th, Venus is there and Neptune is there. Because Venus is there, you're likely attracting a lot of success and a lot of people are seeing you very well. But because Mars is there, there is a chance where you could come across as too aggressive, or you could really get quite angry about certain things in terms of your success and in terms of your achievements. Try not to, because Venus is going to be giving you a beautiful, abundant energy in your career. And it would be a shame with the drive and confidence to come in and attack it before it's actually had a chance to develop. So there is that little bit of tension to consider, but Mars in Gemini is also going to be in harmony, trining Saturn in Aquarius, which is your 9th house of your ideas. It's your 9th house of philosophy, of religion, law, justice. And so this connection here means that you're going to find that you're being rewarded for where you've acted fairly or where you've put some good karma out into the world. There may also be good news about travel for you. You might have an opportunity to travel with this aspect. And so there is a lot this month that is actually in support of you. Mars in your sign as well is going to be in harmony with Jupiter later on. And that's going to be bringing you a lot of luck to your first house. But as I say, with Mars being there in your first house, sometimes it can make you feel a little bit angry, a little bit hot-headed. Sometimes Mars can even make you feel a bit paranoid. So just bear that in mind. You have a lot of energy. Make sure you're putting it into looking after yourself. The remedy for this is to exercise, to take care of yourself, to invest as much energy in yourself as possible, and letting the career work with the energy of the Sun and Venus. It's shining a lot of loving light into your career zone. Those are benefics, don't forget. So with all the energy in Pisces and the new moon in Pisces, if you have some career goals, if you're looking to start something in your career, if you're looking to start a new part of your business, if you're looking to start a new job, the 13th of March, give or take a day or two, is an absolutely wonderful time to do so. Neptune is there. There's a lot of idealism. There's a lot of unconditional love and support there. Because there's a conjunction, which means Mercury and Neptune are both in Pisces in your career sector, and Mercury is your ruler, there is likely to be some news at the end of the month about your career situation, about your success, about an opportunity. Because of Neptune's aspect, you can be rose-tinted glasses about this, but it's likely to be something that's probably positive, if not necessarily grounded completely, but that's where you do your due diligence, really. And so then we have a shift into the Aries energy with the Sun and Venus conjunct in your 11th house, which is to do with wish fulfillment, and it's also to do with friendships. So you're likely towards the end of the month spending more time with friends, or having some kind of wish, something happen that makes you feel very satisfied with the 11th house conjunction there. There is a full moon on the 28th in Libra, and Libra for you is a fantastic energy. It's your 5th house of love, romance. And so there is going to be an energy of romance building up for you. The difficulty though is that it's in a bit of a clash with your 11th house. So there's a need to be acknowledged, there's a need to be recognized with this full moon, but there's also a need to be connected. And somehow they're in a clash. Maybe you're romantically involved with someone your friends don't like. Maybe you are falling for someone that is a friend and there's just some conflict of interest there. Or it could be that you are feeling as though a wish in love has not manifested fully. And this could be something that makes you feel disappointed, or something that you need to heal within yourself. Because of Chiron being opposite this full moon, there is an energy of healing. There is an energy of, how can I work with this wound? Because with Chiron going through your 11th house, maybe some of you have been let down by friendships. Maybe some of you have been catfished because 11th house is social media. Maybe some of you have been experiencing disenchantment or illusions with friendships. Maybe some of you have had to lose friendships recently or before, and there's a wound still there, and this full moon is able to help you heal that. Because with lighting up your 5th house of creativity and love, it may be that love comes into your life that helps you feel supported and less lonely. It may be that you heal through creativity and your creative juices are really flowing. You could create a beautiful piece. You might not necessarily feel like it's being recognized online if you're an online persona. If you have a social media business or something like that, you could find around this time you maybe have a little bit of negative blowback about a creative project, but this is to work through a wound. It's something that needs to be addressed rather than something that's going to be consistently a theme. And don't forget, with the Sun and Venus conjunct in this house, it's going to be lit up with love. So the energy that I get with this for you, Gemini, is that anything that feels challenging or tense this month is being lit up with love. and any issues with how you deal with other people, be it in business or be it career, is unlikely to be as bad as it seems. And it's somewhere where you can put a lot of thought and consideration this month. So that is what I have for you, Gemini. If you're interested in the tarot part of this, there will be a tarot part separately. And I hope you have a wonderful month. Bye. Hi Cancer and Cancer rising, and welcome to your March 2021 horoscope. So Cancer, this is going to be a fantastic month for you in terms of your general sense of optimism. With the Sun, with Venus, with Mercury moving into and Neptune in Pisces, you're going to be feeling a lot more optimism, a lot more excitement, a lot more adventure this month. It really is an adventurous month for you. We have a new moon on the 13th at the time of the Venus Neptune Conjunction. And so there are going to be dreams for you of travel, of relocating, maybe of having something published, maybe of something legal working in your favor, maybe philosophy in general, maybe higher education. There is a wide range of ways this new moon can be a new beginning, but it's likely to be your next big adventure. And it's likely to be an adventure that is almost like the movies. It has a sense of idealism and glamour to it that is really very special for you. And so the first half of this month is marked with this sense of optimism, adventure and excitement about your life and some kind of new beginning for you that is quite dreamy, that is quite exciting and is a plan for an adventure, either in the future or right now. There is going to be some adventure manifesting for you in your life. So it is a very exciting month for you, Cancer. You will enjoy it so much more than you did in February, where there was a lot of energy in your 8th house of letting go, of death, of rebirth, that type of thing. And so later on in the month, we have a lot of energy going into your 10th house. Now, you experienced a lot of energy in your 10th house last year because of the extended stay with Mars being there. And so there's going to be a lot of drive in your career, in your reputation and in your status, because the Sun and Venus are going to be conjunct in your 10th house, and Venus is a benefic and the Sun shines light wherever it is. So them side by side in your 10th house is going to shine a lot of light on what you do well, particularly if you work with money or with beauty, aesthetics, clothing, fashion, something Venetian, or even as an artist. So there's going to be a lot of good energy flowing to your career at the end of the month. We have a full moon in Libra on the 28th, which for you is to do with family. Now, there is a clash between this full moon and Chiron in your career sector. So having a balance between home, family and your career success, your internal versus your external is important at this time. And you may realize where something has been challenging or is not working in terms of that work, career and family home balance. Some of you may be deciding with this full moon that you want to move, you want to relocate, you don't like where you're living, or you may realize that you don't like who you live with. So you might be making changes there. In a family situation, something with children or parents may take your attention, and it may have to take you away from your career momentarily. But for most of you, it just looks like getting that balance right and feeling a little bit upset by how out of balance that may be. So it could be that you're going back to work and you have been with your kids for a long time and you're going to miss them, or it could be that your kids are going back to school or something. It's just this feeling of there's a little bit of healing. There's always a little bit of a thorn in the paw with Chiron that you need to pull out and see why something upsets you. So this full moon is a very healing one, but in a good way, in a balancing way. It's to find out what needs to be balanced in order for you to feel better. And so harmony in career, success in career is a big thing towards the end of the month, and healing a career wound too. With the Sun conjunct Chiron, it can be where we self-sabotage or we have imposter syndrome, and you need to work with that. You need to have a pep talk with yourself to say you are enough and that you're doing a good job. To be honest, with the Sun, Chiron and Venus aspect to this, I do suspect that you're likely going to be hearing from a superior or someone that you're doing a good job, or if it's the opposite, it's going to be a moment where you start to see where maybe some self-sabotaging behaviors are coming in. Now, Mars is going to be all month in your 12th house, which is the hidden, it's the unseen. Mars in the 12th house can be tricky because it can make you kind of paranoid. It can make you feel a little bit like people are out to get you. It can make you feel a bit upset or a bit suspicious or a bit worried about what's going on behind the scenes. But Mars in the 12th house, the remedy for that would be to put a little bit of spirituality in your life. You know, Mars is where you put your action. So put your action towards something healing for yourself. Put your action towards getting to the root of a problem. Don't put your action into spying or being suspicious or anything like that. Put it into something healing for you, whether that is Reiki, whether that is astrology, whether it is, you know, being present, being in a meditative state. With Mars coasting through the 12th house, because it's in a little bit of trickiness with the Piscean energy, which is your optimism, it may feel a little time like you have to heal a particular spiritual belief, or you've outgrown a particular spiritual belief that you want to move away from. I think for some of you, there could be a little bit of a crisis of faith there, where maybe you're just not as aligned with what you once believed in. Mars in your 12th house is going to be trining Saturn in Aquarius, which is your 8th house. So with this energy, you could be letting go of something financially, or you could be letting go of a thought pattern or something that has lay dormant within you. This could manifest as, you know, a good cry, or realizing something really bothers you and Mars brings it to the surface. And Saturn helps you learn from it to move forward, because this is a trine after all, it's harmonious. But with Mars and Saturn in the mix, sometimes it can feel a bit challenging. And so that is where that is manifesting for you, Cancer. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Leo and Leo rising, and welcome to your March 2021 horoscope. So Leo, we have a lot of energy activating your 8th house. So this is your sector of intimacy, of shared resources. It's where we let go. It's where we regenerate. It's to do with money sharing. It's to do with intimacy, death, sex, power, that type of thing. So with so much energy there, we have Venus there, we have the Sun there, Mercury enters there on the 15th, and we have Neptune there for an extended stay. So the link here, Leo, for you is that this particular area, the 8th house, is activated, and it is having a light from your ruler, the Sun, shone on it, right? So this is a lot to do with your most primal, most intimate senses, and it is very much to do with the theory of regeneration. So it is letting the old go to make way for the new. Letting go of certain parts of your life in order to make way for the next cycle. And this doesn't necessarily mean to be endings in the way of leaving something behind in a permanent state. It's to do with regeneration. So it's making a change that will bring about positive change for you. And so we have Venus here, which is a beautiful, intimate place for Venus to be. In Pisces, Venus is exalted, and in the 8th house for you, there's a lot of chemistry, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of beautiful energies there, there's a lot more romance in a deeper sense. You know, a true intimate connection with somebody could be highlighted at this time. And with Mercury there, you're also most likely to transform the way that you do communicate if you have an issue in that regard. There's actually going to be a conjunction between Mercury and Neptune on the 29th in this sector. So it's an interesting time to really see what lies beneath, particularly in your intimate relationships. Mars is in Gemini. Now Gemini for you is the 11th house. It's friendships, it's groups, it's our aspirations and our wishes. And so the interesting thing about this for you is that Mars is putting a lot of activity there, a lot of energy there, and it's actually going to be in harmony with your sector of partnerships. So it's likely that you could be going into business with a partner, a friend. You could be going into business with a friend. You could be going into business with someone you associate in a group level. A group dynamic could take on a more one-on-one dynamic. It could be finding love with a friend, for example. There's likely a bit of tension surrounding this because it is Mars and Saturn. But it's likely to be something that you can really learn from, and something that's actually going to be positive for you, because Saturn is teaching you very important lessons in your relationship life and your contracts. So it could be an aspect where you have a new contract, or you develop a new partnership or a new relationship based on something 11th house related. So a friendship, or someone who shares similar aspirations for the future, or wants something for the world that you want. You bond on common causes. Now, the Venus Neptune conjunction occurs around the new moon. That's in Pisces. We're going back to your 8th house. And this is a very beautiful and alluring time for you, where you're going to be feeling really magnetic and really you're oozing sensuality, and your relationship life is having this beautiful red roses theme going on. And with the new moon being there, the new moon being in Pisces in the 13th, for you, it's a beautiful time to attract into your life shared resources. There could be a new beginning based in shared income, shared money. This could be starting a bank account with a partner, for example, or this could be taking on a new contract that brings you some kind of fruition, financially speaking. This is also a beautiful time to get into a deeper relationship with the person you're dating or the person that you're committed to. There's a deepening here, and with this new beginning comes almost a miniature death of some kind. There is a change. So for a lot of you, it could be deciding to leave behind singledom or bachelorhood and enter a more committed dynamic. Or for some of you, it could be leaving behind your a certain source of income and uniting with somebody else. Now, there is a very intense full moon at the end of the month for you. That is going to be in Libra. This is going to be activating your third house of communication, where you go to think, how you communicate information, learning, writing, and any kind of mental activity. There's a wound with this though, and it's connecting to the Aries energy in your 9th house of philosophy, of higher learning. For a lot of people that are Leo rising in particular, there could be some information around this time about your higher education. There could be some information about school. There could be some information about travel coming up for you around this time that you may need to heal from a little bit. There's a wound attached to this, so there might be a feeling of disappointment, but it's in order to bring back more balance, or you may just realize where things are a little bit out of balance and you need to heal them. Because with Chiron in the mix, Chiron opposite this full moon, what you will be looking for is a sense of healing and a sense of well-being for yourself, and it's activating your sectors of thought. So what I will say for you is this, Leo, if you're feeling a lot of anxiety around the full moon, or a lot of disappointment in your heart about something maybe in the past, vocalize it. Find ways to heal your conversation, especially with fellow fire signs in your life, Sagittarius or Aries or fellow Leos. There's a way to vocalize this, especially if it's surrounding a trip or an educational disappointment. There's something that needs to be balanced, and it may not even manifest as a disappointment because the sun is connecting to Chiron in Aries, because in the second half of the month we have the sun, Chiron, Venus in Aries, and that is going to be lighting up your sector of travel. So it may actually be that you have an opportunity to travel that means you require leaving behind your local neighborhood, or there might be a cease in some kind of communication that is linked to geographical distance or linked to a higher perspective. With Chiron, it always feels a little bit like there's a wound being activated, but it is to bring it to the light, to let it go. It's usually more internal. So that is what I have for you, Leo. I hope you have a wonderful month in March, and I will see you soon. Hi Virgo, and welcome to your March 2021 horoscope. This is for Virgo Sun and Virgo Rising. So Virgo, we have a lot of mutable activity in the sky. That means that many of the planets are in mutable signs. The mutable signs being your sign, Pisces, Gemini, and Sagittarius. We have the North Node in Gemini, the South Node in Sagittarius. We have a lot in Pisces. And then we have you're Virgo. So we have so much across the sky from you in your opposite house, which is Pisces. We have the sun there, Mercury is entering there on the 15th. We have Venus there, and we have Neptune there. Neptune's been a player there for a long time, and it's going to be connecting with Venus. It's going to be connecting with the sun, which is really beautiful and idealistic energy. Sometimes it can feel foggy, but this year it's happening around the time of a really beautiful new moon in Pisces. This is all activating your sector of relationships and partnerships. So this is where we have a significant other, a significant relationship. So this is good news if you're single and you want to manifest a partner, you want to manifest a long-term relationship. If you don't want to manifest a long-term relationship, this is more business oriented for you, more about one-on-one dynamics in your life in general. But if you're looking to manifest a relationship, or you're in a relationship, there's a feeling of next level. There's a feeling of progression. There is a lot of beautiful energy there. And there's a huge opportunity to meet a committed partner, a committed relationship. That could be someone who's quite idealistic, someone who's quite romantic, someone who's quite a dreamer, that balances beautifully with your energy. It's meeting your opposite. So there's an opposites attract kind of vibe going on here. At the same time, we have Mars in Gemini. Now, Mars in Gemini is going to be putting a lot of activity in your career. And I know that a lot of you are probably like, oh, because you've had so much in Aquarius lately, and Aquarius is your work. So work could have been exceptionally busy for you in the last 2 months, particularly in February, or it could have felt more stressful than usual. Mars in Gemini is going to be pushing you to go for more success, go for more recognition. It could lead to some arguments with your superiors. That could be tricky. Mars is going to conjunct the true node, which is going to give you a lot of energy to go for your purpose, go for your passion, especially Virgo rising. If you're looking to seek fame, if you're looking to seek recognition or build your reputation or meet the right people, March is your month. March is absolutely your month to do that. We also have a beautiful lineup between Mars and Saturn towards the end of the month, I believe in the 21st, where there is a trine going on. So there is this push with Mars to mature something in your career life. There is success related to your day-to-day work, your routines, and of course your career. So we also have a full moon in Libra at the end of the month on the 28th. This is to do with your money, and this is linking up with Aries. Aries energy for you is 8th house. That is your shared resources. This full moon is in your own personal income, what you value, what matters, your skills, that type of thing. And so the full moon is shining this brightness into this sector, meaning that you may manifest some money. You may be manifesting some money into your life. You might be coming into some money unexpectedly because of its link with Aries. You may get taxed on this money, or you may have to share this money in some capacity. But it also looks like to me that for many of you Virgos, with Chiron being in the picture, Chiron is the wounded healer, you see, and it's in your 8th house of shared resources and intimacy. So some of you may be experiencing issues with sharing. You might feel a little bit vulnerable sharing with people, or vulnerable being financially associated with others. And so that could be a wound that comes up at this time and shows you your relationship with money in general and what maybe needs to be balanced a little bit. Balance your checkbook, for example, around this full moon. There is an element to that because the sun is conjunct Chiron, which means that in your sector of shared resources and intimacy and regeneration, etc., they're sitting side by side. So Chiron is having the warmth of the sun shone on him. And there's a bit of heat, there's a bit of awareness to where maybe you're feeling a little bit funny about those areas. Which is interesting as we shift from the 7th house to the 8th house. I do feel for a lot of Virgos there is an idea of deepening relationships, finding a partnership, coupling up, that kind of thing, and that this could be something that's a little bit unnerving to you or a little bit frightening to you. There could be some really interesting shifts in your partnership, romantic relationships, etc. But I do feel that these are all to your benefit, and it can be very healing for you, Virgo. So that is what I have for you. I hope you have a beautiful month, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Libra and Libra rising. So Libra, this is Pisces season for you. This is your 6th house of service, work, health, fitness, routine, self-improvement. And we have some glorious energies happening here for you. Your ruler Venus is here, connecting with Neptune and connecting with the sun. And then we have a beautiful new moon here as well. And Mercury is in the mix just to bring us out of the Mercury retrograde shadow period. So Libra, this for you is all to do with self-improvement. It's to do with your well-being. It's to do with your physical body. It's to do with your mental state. It's to do with your health in general, and where something needs to be exposed in a way, because when the sun is going through a sector, it gives us life force energy, vitality, it gives us a bit more confidence and a bit more strength. So for you, you're going to have a lot more physical strength this time. You're going to put a lot more energy into exercise, eating right, diet. You're going to naturally gravitate towards these things. And it's going to be a beautiful time for you to explore these energies and to really make the best of your health. It's with Venus there and the sun there, It's shining a beautiful energy on your health, so that's something you can really work with rather than have it work against you. And with the new moon in Pisces, there is a beautiful new beginning for you in your health and well-being, especially if you're trying to move away from something addictive, something that is self-sabotaging. We also have a full moon in your sign this month, and this is on the 28th. It is opposite Chiron. At the same time, the sun is conjunct Chiron. So there is a wound being exposed both in the ego and both emotionally. And because it's in your sign, it could be something very personal. You could be feeling very personal around this time. You could be feeling quite touchy about things. You could maybe feel a little bit more emotional than usual in terms of your identity and your personality and how you're presenting yourself to the world, or maybe even your appearance. Now, because Chiron is in your 7th house of partnerships, marriage, it could be that you're feeling a little bit rejected by a partner, or you could have some fears about a partner, or just relationships in general could feel out of balance at this time, maybe because of work-related activities. And so this full moon exposes that and brings it to the surface. Because Chiron's in the mix, it's usually because something needs to be healed. And Chiron has been in Aries for the last couple of years, so you've been working on healing any issues surrounding partnership wounds or marriage fears, that type of thing. You know, because the 7th house is your house. So as the energy shifts into your 7th house at the end of the month, there is going to be a Sun-Venus conjunction in your 7th house, which is beautiful for your relationships. So it may be that your relationships may feel out of balance because of something in your life rather than your partner's life, but this is going to be a beautiful time for you to actually meet a partner based on the Sun-Venus conjunction. With Chiron in the mix, there could be quite a healing relationship. It could be likely that you're either choosing partners that are healing for you, that are in a healing profession or something like that, or it could be that you are healing through relationships, maybe even bad choices you've been healing through as well. Mars and Saturn are going to be trining in your fellow air signs, Aquarius and Gemini, which is going to be lighting up your sector of travel, philosophy, adventure, and love and romance. So there is likely for you potentially an opportunity to travel this month with Mars being there, or an opportunity to have some kind of adventure, especially in your romantic, creative, or fun life. There's a very fun adventure on the horizon for you, it would seem, something that could be quite long lasting as well. So there is a lot of excitement for you this month, Libra. When we move into your opposite season, the sun is going to be shining opposite you, and it's really going to be exposing how you feel about yourself, especially with the full moon there. And you're very likely to take on a more forthright, more playful, more adventurous, more dynamic energy at this time after the full moon, so that you can work through any wounds in that area. Perhaps maybe you feel or worry that you're not having enough adventure or enough fun in your life, and the end of March looks like the time when that takes off for you. So that is what I have for you, Libra, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Scorpio and Scorpio rising, so welcome to your March 2021 horoscope. Scorpio, we have so much activity in the most fun, playful, romantic, creative, joyful house of the zodiac, which is for you Pisces. So we have the sun there, Mercury enters in the 15th, we already have Venus in Pisces, and we have Neptune in Pisces, connecting with each other to give you this beautiful glow of romance, of glamour, of manifestation, of excitement. So 5th house, romance is heightened, fun is heightened, playfulness and creativity. This is a very romantic time for you, especially with Venus connecting with the sun and then connecting with Neptune around a new moon. So if you're looking to manifest a new romance in your life, the full moon, new moon on the 13th in Pisces is the perfect time to set those intentions, to get very clear with the universe about what you want, put out a cosmic order, what type of person you want. Some of you are manifesting a pregnancy or a creative project. Some of you are getting some very amazing ideas in terms of creativity if you're an artist, or you're creating anything in your life in general, be it a project for any career. You know, people that enjoy astrology aren't always artists and entrepreneurs and things. You know, in any profession, you can bring creativity to light with this energy, and you're likely just attracting a lot of good fortune, a lot of energy. You're really magnetic, you're really glowy, you're really feeling like you can breathe in this water sign energy after last month being very heavy in the fixed signs. So we also have Mars, your co-ruler, your traditional ruler, entering Gemini on the 3rd. And now this is occupying your 8th house of intimacy, shared resources, shared finances, regeneration, letting go. So when Mars is going through Gemini for you, it is really going to amplify your intimate life, your intimate connection with a partner. It's going to show you where you need to ruthlessly cut some habits out of your life, some habits that may be harming you, some old attitudes, some beliefs. You're going to be ruthless and just letting that stuff go, regenerating. If someone is taking money from you, that is something that you're going to be cutting out very quickly. There's a ruthlessness, I think, when Mars is going through the 8th house for Scorpios and Scorpio rising, because it gives you that drive, it gives you that energy to just have your rebirth moment. Interestingly enough, Mars is going to be trining Saturn in your 4th house towards the end of the month, around the 21st. And this is going to be an energy of letting go of the past, possibly letting go of some pain or some trauma surrounding parents. If you have parents that went through a divorce in your life, you may find that around this time you realize it bothers you, or there may be some family tension coming to a head in your current life. There could be some issues surrounding an in-law, for example. But it is likely that this is going to be resolved in a way that is fair, and it's important to be mature and to activate good karma when you're dealing with any difficulties in this area, because it is a trine, it is a harmony. So there is a push of energy with Mars, but Saturn is really teaching us a lesson. There's always a teaching moment with Saturn involved. So we also have Mercury entering Pisces in the 15th. Your communication is going to be much easier. You're going to flow, you're going to share, and you're going to have really lovely conversations with either your lover, your children, or your creativity in general. You're going to be able to write better, to flow, to create. Then we have a lot of energy moving into your 6th house. We have the sun moving there, and then we have Venus. We're going to have another sun-Venus conjunction there, which is really going to help you in terms of your physical habits, your health habits, your workout routine, your diet, this type of thing. And you're going to be feeling much more of service and much more like you can give to yourself and to others. So if you work in a service job, this is a wonderful time for you to generate tips or generate some kind of promotion or something like that. We do have a full moon in your 12th house on the 28th, and I'd like to talk about this because it is activating your service sectors. So we have the 12th house that is activated, which is spiritual. So around this full moon, you may be feeling very sensitive. You could be feeling very psychic. You could be feeling a lot of emotions come to the surface that you didn't realize. This is where you go to transcend. It's a beautiful full moon to practice tarot astrology, or to really figure out what's going on with you on a subconscious level, because one thing that I think Scorpios probably hate more than anything else is your subconscious, because it gives you away every time. You know, people can't really hide their subconscious as much as they like to think. And so the full moon exposes, it's a moment of exposure for you to really get to grips with what your weaknesses are, what your vulnerabilities are, and your flaws are, in order for you to transcend them. Because the 12th house is also, not many people realize this, but it's also where miracles happen. It's also where you find true bliss and contentment. It's that feeling of being in the womb, you know, the safety of it, being growing and healing, that type of thing. So there's actually a beautiful energy with this, and it's a time to forgive. It's a time to let go of the past. And for a lot of you, because it's in opposition with Chiron, the wounded healer, in your sector of giving and health, a lot of you could be finally healing some sort of health issue. You could be finding that there's a release of energy if you've had a little buildup of something, you know, an unusual symptom. There could be a release of that. You could be releasing some toxic habits in terms of your fitness, your well-being. Maybe you're giving up alcohol. Maybe you're giving up obsession with what you eat or something. You're finding a healing there, possibly with a therapist or an alternative healer or something like that. You know, there is the healing axis involved in this. So you could really be coming to grips with an issue. And with the sun sitting beside Chiron in your sector of health, this is real vitality. This is really life force energy being shown on your health and well-being. So it's a beautiful time to heal emotionally and physically around this full moon in general. So all in all, it's a really beautiful month for you, Scorpio. whenever the signs shift into Aries, there's more focus on work, there's more focus on routine, etc. But for the most part, this month is very romantic, it's very ethereal, it's very fun, it's very joyous, and you deserve it. So enjoy, Scorpio. Hi Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. So Sagittarius, we have a lot of energy happening in your sector of home, your sector of family, your roots, your safety, your security. We have a lot of beautiful energy happening here. So we have the Sun, we have Mercury entering the sector on the 15th. We have Venus and we have Neptune, all giving you this rosy glow in terms of your home and family dynamics. So this can be a very healing time for your home and family dynamics, and it can also be a time of recuperation, rest, redecorating, really making sure your space fits the way you want it to. You could likely be spending a lot of time at home in the first half of the month. Second half of the month is a bit of a different story. We have the Sun, Venus, all moving into Aries, and it's going to be conjunct Chiron at the very end of the month. The Sun conjunct Chiron, Venus will conjunct Chiron later on, but we have a lot of energy then moving into your 5th house of fun, pleasure, creativity, and children. So this month in particular is beautiful energy for balancing your home life and your fun life. You know, not saying that the two can't coincide, but one side of the month is much more social and creative and out there for you, and the beginning of the month is very introverted. It's a time when you could really get to redecorate your space and really put a little bit of a beautiful finishing touch in your home and really connect with your family and your loved ones more. We have a beautiful new moon on the 13th in Pisces, and around this time we're going to be having a Venus Neptune conjunction. And while we're experiencing that conjunction, this is a time when you can be beautifully creative in terms of your home space and your house in general. It might be that you're moving homes, you might find your dream house around this period, and it's very likely that there's some kind of dreaminess surrounding your home and family, something that feels very idyllic, something that feels very nurturing to you. You're nurturing things with an incredible beauty that anything you create this month can really be sustained and really brought to this, you know, the epitome of beauty with your creations. You can just really have a beautiful touch to anything that you put your mind to this month. We have a full moon in Libra at the end of the month that's quite different though. The full moon in Libra is activating your sector of wishes, long-term aspirations, groups, friendships, etc. And it is in an opposition to Chiron and the Sun, which are conjunct in your sector of creativity. So I do feel for a lot of you that if you're wishing for something in your romantic life, or you're wishing for something for your child, or you're wishing for something for your friends, there's a little bit of a wound in the mix. So it could be that there is a little bit of tension. Maybe there is something in your past that is unresolved. I think for a lot of you, Chiron transiting through your sector of creativity, Chiron going through the 5th house can mean that you want to be recognized for your talents, you want to be recognized for your creativity, you want to be recognized for the things that you have made in this time. And it can also mean that you want to be nurturing your inner child and you want to play. But when Chiron is going through that sector, sometimes it can make you feel very uninspired by yourself. You can't see your talents quite right. And I feel with this full moon, it is saying to you that talents of yours, aspirations and goals of yours want to be achieved. But with the full moon, there is a sense of, well, why is a certain thing not manifesting for you? Well, it's likely that if something is not manifesting around this full moon in terms of an aspiration, it is likely that there is some creative wound or lack of belief in one's creative energies or talents. That is the issue. And so with the Sun right beside Chiron in your sector of creativity, it's shining a light on your wound of where you feel like you're not creative enough, or you're not good enough, or you're not talented enough or smart enough, or where you feel like this is never going to manifest for you. It will. It will. At the end of the year, when Libra season takes over your sector of wishes and aspirations, you're going to notice the support from Saturn, you're going to notice the support from Jupiter, and you're going to see that because the support is happening in your communication sector, it's a lot to do with putting yourself forward and communicating your goals and abilities. So with this full moon, I think it's exposing maybe some ways you hold yourself back, some ways that you're not putting yourself forward enough. And with the Sun and Venus connecting here, there's a lot of love energy surrounding you. There's a lot of romantic energy, opportunities for romance in the later half of the month and into next month for you. Opportunities to be more creative, opportunities to have more fun. I do feel with Chiron going through the 5th house, a lot of you are maybe trying to be very serious and, you know, very strict about your talents because you feel like you need to overcompensate, when in reality, when Chiron is actually transiting through the 5th house, you're likely more talented than ever. You are just the only one that can't see it. So if you're experiencing some blockages in creativity, the sun is shining a light on why at the end of the month. But overall, Sagittarius, a beautiful month. I hope you have a good one. Hi Capricorn and Capricorn rising. So welcome to your March 2021 horoscope. Capricorn, you're going to be experiencing a lot of activity in your 3rd house, which is really very mental. It's how you think, it's how you communicate, it's what you write, it's what you learn in your day-to-day life. It's the focus on mental activity is going to be very strong for you this month. We're going to have the sun there. Mercury, which is a very communicative planet itself, is going to be moving there in the 15th out of shadow in your sector of finance. And so we're having a real shift for you. You're really experiencing a shift, especially in terms of money and resources. There's a bit of pressure off. You can just enjoy Jupiter's energy there. But we're also going to be having Mars move into your 6th house of work, of fitness and well-being. So you're really going to be driven to put a lot of effort into your fitness, your health, your routine and your habits, and in particular what you ingest, what you eat, what's healthy. You're likely more interested in what's organic. And this is actually all going to support your money. So that might sound unusual to you, but Mars and Saturn are going to connect towards the end of the month, I believe around the 21st, in the air signs. Mars in your sector of routine, of habits, and Saturn being in your sector of income, money, and what you possess. And so you're going to be nurturing around this time your own habits, your own healthy habits, and your money by being a bit more aggressive in how you look after yourself. You're maybe a bit more strict, you're maybe a bit more determined with those goals of yours, and as a result, you're going to pay off financially. The more effort you put into your health, well-being, and being of service in the workplace, the more money you're going to see, and your money could grow quite well over time. So beginning of the month, so much energy in Pisces. We have a new moon in Pisces on the 13th, and this is a beautiful time for you to set intentions in terms of communication. It's a wonderful time to write. Whenever I see a new moon in the 3rd house, I think if you want to write something, if you want to create something with words, if you want to communicate something or work on your communication in general, this is a wonderful new moon to start. New moons are where we plant the seeds. And so this is a wonderful new moon for you to do anything related to mental activity, writing, reading, listening, teaching, or learning. Perhaps there's a new hobby or interest that is going to come around you at the new moon in Pisces. Towards the end of the month, we have a lot of activity taking up your 4th house. Now, this is where we nurture, we rest, we find security, put focus on family, put focus on home. And there's going to be a Sun-Venus conjunction there. There's also going to be the Sun conjunct Chiron. So while there's a lot of love being put into your family sector, there's also healing. So you could be dealing with someone in your family maybe who has been unwell or has been needing some help or some nurturing, or there's been some healing in a fractured relationship or with a home owning situation. And with so much moving into Aries, it's a real time to nurture your home life, your family life with the Sun-Venus conjunction, a time to redecorate, to put in some finishing touches, to really make a house a home. We have a full moon in Libra at the end of the month, which is going to exaggerate the energies in your career. So the way that this is happening is that it's going to be opposite Chiron in your 4th house of home and family, but it's also opposite the past. So there could be some tension between balancing your career work life and your home family life. Maybe there's some tension there. Maybe some of you are going back to work. Maybe some of you are leaving a job, or maybe some of you are changing your working from home situation. But around this time, there's going to be a little bit of a need to balance out something career and home life. Maybe you are not switching off enough at home. Maybe you're working from home and you're working over your hours, or you can't stop thinking about it. Your environments are not separate enough. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you're spending too much time at home and you don't have any work at the moment. With that being in mind, the full moon is actually a time when we can see a completion of one job or the appearance of a new job, manifesting a particular job. So it's an interesting dynamic for you. It's in your sector of success. It's likely because of the opposition to Chiron that if you are meeting at this time some kind of career success, some kind of career peak moment, it's likely that you have a wound being triggered from childhood or from family, where you felt like you would never meet success. Maybe you had very critical parents, or maybe you had no icon, as it were, no one to look up to, no role model. And maybe there's a little bit of a wound there that needs to be addressed through balance. So with this full moon, for everybody, it's going to be opposite Chiron in some sector for them. And so Chiron is the wounded healer. So around this full moon, be mindful of what comes up for you in terms of feeling a bit off, or feeling a bit afraid, or feeling a bit vulnerable. It's likely that something is out of balance because this is a Libra full moon. But around this full moon, it's likely some of you could have good news about status, good news about career, good news about career prospects, reputation, and the future. And as I say, the more energy you put into serving others, the better your financial situation and the better your career is going to move. With Saturn, sometimes these things are quite slow moving. That's okay. Saturn moving through your money sector is just making you get very smart about your resources. But usually as a Capricorn, you're pretty smart about that anyway. So I will talk to you soon, Capricorn. Bye. Hi Aquarius, and welcome to your horoscope for March 2021. This is for Aquarius and Aquarius rising. So Aquarius, we have Mars entering Gemini, your 5th house of love, romance and creativity on the 3rd, and this is really going to amplify these energies for you. You're going to be putting a lot of energy into it. You're going to want to pursue more romance in your life, more love in your life, more creativity in your life, more fun, more joy with this particular transit. It is going to be connecting with your traditional ruler Saturn in your sign, your 1st house, on the 21st of the month. And this trine is going to present you an energy whereby you can use your creative talents to make something for yourself. A lot of you at this time could be putting more energy into your appearance. You could be putting more energy into your style, into creating something for yourself, or putting creative touches on your work that more reflect your personality. Basically, this month you're going to want to be injecting a bit more of your personality into what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're creating for yourself. And some of you may realize that you have a talent, a skill, you possess something for yourself that you've not been using. So you're going to start using that this month, because we have a lot of energy in Pisces, which is your 2nd house of money and finance, but it's also where you have skills, values, and possessions. So with the new moon here, it's a wonderful time on the 13th to set some financial intentions, to ask the universe for money, to manifest money. It's also a time where you can start putting your skills into something, a side hustle, for example, to make more money from. Now, the thing about this is that I know that everything this time around, it feels as though a lot of things and habits and hobbies almost have to be monetized now. You can't just do it for fun. You absolutely can, because Mars in your 5th house means that you're just putting a lot more energy into having fun in general. You don't have to monetize it. It's just because of the 2nd house aspect, and it's conflict with the Gemini energy. Maybe you feel like you should be monetizing everything you do. There's certainly an opportunity for you to manifest more money in your life. It doesn't have to come from a creative hobby, but there's certainly a skill set you have that you could put forward. Maybe apply for a promotion, maybe apply for a job, whatever it is, something that can reward you financially for the talents you have. And so we have a Venus Neptune conjunction there in your sector of money. With Venus being in your 2nd house, you might be quite spend happy. You might be wanting to spend money on useless things that really don't matter. But you're most likely to be spending money on things that you can use to enhance your life. Just be wary of buying things that are unnecessary for you in the long run, with Venus being there. But Venus in the second house is also very happy for making money, as I say, and getting very wise with your money. You know, maybe set some new financial intentions or rules for yourself with that new moon. We have a full moon in Libra, which is your 9th house of travel. It's your sector of philosophy, higher education, law. And so around this full moon, you're possibly thinking about the bigger issues in life. You're probably thinking about the adventure you want to have. You're probably thinking about the next steps you want to take in life. What does it all mean? There's quite a lot of existential crisis energy surrounding this full moon for you, especially because it's going to be opposite Chiron in Aries, which is your 3rd house of learning and communication and listening. Now, because the Sun and Chiron are conjunct in Aries, in your sector of listening and siblings and writing, it's very likely that there is a wound surrounding communication you might need to heal, particularly with a father figure, or particularly with men in general. There may be an issue, a wound from childhood that feels quite awkward for you, where you feel awkward to express yourself, where you feel awkward to put your point of view across, especially if it's on the bigger picture. You know, Aquarians are so very talented at seeing the bigger picture in life and really seeing things from a more humanitarian perspective. So when that forward thinking that you have as a child, at some point in an Aquarian's life, I do feel, even if they were in the most forward thinking family, at some point their ideas when they're a child get shut down because it can seem so abstract. And so I think for a lot of Aquarians, maybe this Sun-Chiron conjunction is going to expose where you felt a bit awkward as a child about an idea, and thus you feel trouble at the moment communicating it. So there is a lot of energy shifting into your creative sector with mental activity. Watch your mental health at this time, because as lovely as a lot of the energy is, it could really exacerbate a fear or an anxious perception of life, because the 3rd house can feel really very activated. When it's very activated and out of balance, it can feel anxious because we're thinking too much. You know what I mean? So there is an energy of overthinking that can be healed, because Sun and Venus connecting in your 3rd house means that you will be able to express yourself beautifully if you choose to. And Mercury having left your sign in shadow means that your communication is going to ease up in general. And in your 2nd house, you're going to be able to say what matters more than anything else. So bear in mind of your talents and your skills and what qualities you possess, Aquarius, that are actually very wonderful, that maybe you've overlooked, maybe you need to use going forward. And enjoy this month. I hope you have a beautiful month going forward. I'll talk to you soon.